Check, check. Well, I hope this is actually working. This is going to be my first official live stream. I know this is kind of a surprise for most of you guys, but I had some extra time today, so I figured I'd give this a try. I hope it's coming through. I've never actually done one of these before, so we're going to learn together with this. If nobody can attend, I will probably cut it off, but as of right now, I'm going to give it a few minutes here. Alright, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, nobody's here yet. I'm actually using OBS Studio. Sorry about that. I know YouTube user Eric Brunhammer has actually used this before, and he had a lot of people on there. Okay, I'm getting something here that says audio too loud, so let's see if we can adjust that. Okay, is that a little bit better? Yeah, somebody, if you can let me know in the chat section, that would be great. I turned the mic down about halfway. This I'm using my old Logitech webcam, and this thing is a little touchy. Next major purchase is going to be a brand new webcam for sure. Looks like we're up to 4 watchers here. Okay. Let me know if this is any better for you. I'll try one other thing here. Still trying to figure this out. I've never actually tried to adjust the settings on my microphone before, at least not with the Logitech. Okay, I think this is about the right volume, so we're going to keep it here for right now. So, let me know what you guys are up to. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a live stream. Go in and ask me some questions if there's anything you've wanted to know recently, and I'll try to read them out here. Nick, see if I don't want to butcher this last name. Abansi says he's watching this in school. Awesome. I've got Frank Epic Z Official watching from the UK. Well, hello. Awesome. And go ahead and give me another audio check. Somebody tell me how it's coming through right now. Got it turned up to about 35%. Are you guys able to hear me at all? Sam Hodson, another greeting from England. Oh, it's awesome. I'm getting a lot of my UK subscribers there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just replace this this microphone. Yeah, I'm gonna find something a little bit better, but for now, this is gonna have to work. Like I said, I don't have another setup right now. See, we got, it seems like we got some audio issues, but I'm going to try this. We'll go on for at least a little bit longer. Let's see, James Vlogs, greetings from North Carolina. Nice. Well, go ahead and start asking me some questions. Like I said, as of right now, I'm still working on this mic issue. Hopefully, I can get this resolved sooner than later. Let's go into the sound settings and see what we can hear there. Okay. All right. All right, yeah. Go ahead and give me another audio check. I was able to turn the microphone down in the Windows settings. So I've got that down to about 50% and got the mic halfway up in OBS Studio. So another sound check would be much appreciated. Excellent, excellent. Well, I must say that my cat Cassie is going crazy in the background. I'm hoping I can show her here in a few. She's she's really into playing right now. Let's see. Here it's about 1:30, and this is her time to play. She pretty much is awake all night. She sleeps all morning long, and then right around this time she wants to start playing again. Garth RNC wrote, "My ears ain't bleeding anymore." Yeah, I apologize for that. Oh man, well I'm glad at least I know the webcam is working okay. What is this? Alien Technology. What's up, Matt? Oh, shout out to you. Let's see what else we got here. Looks like the system health isn't that great right now. I know this is still kind of in beta, so we may have a little bit of glitches here once in a while, but like I said, we're going to do our best to go through this. Yes, you fixed it. Perfect audio now. Yeah. I knew it would take some time, but now I know exactly where the levels need to be, pretty much in the middle in OBS Studio and right in the middle in the Windows microphone settings. So now we're good to go. Yeah, so go ahead and now that we've gotten the audio problem taken care of, go ahead and start asking me some questions. Anything you guys have wanted to know, anything maybe you want me to do in the future. And yeah, if you guys hear some weird sounds in the back, I have the fan in the window because here in Virginia right now, it is gorgeous. It's about 72 degrees outside. And for the second day in a row, I've actually been able to have the window open and have fresh air coming in the room. Because at least here in the southern part of Virginia, for the better part of the summer and usually the beginning of the fall, it is just way too hot to have the window open. There's not only is the temperature too high, but there's way too much humidity in the air. Yeah, we're up to 12 watchers. That is awesome. I just figured, I didn't know if anybody'd be able to do this or not with me today, but figured, what the heck, let's give it a try. But yeah, go ahead and start, like I said, start typing in some questions there. I really want to be able to answer some questions for you. Have you ever owned, okay, this is Sam Hodgson. Have you ever owned an HP DC6000? Not to the best of my knowledge. Let me look that up real quick. It is possible, though. I've owned a lot of different things. Okay, yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that model. Yes, I have owned a couple of those. I had the extra small form factor on that one, and I also had the regular micro tower version. I really did enjoy that computer too. The one I had, I believe, was a Core 2 Duo. Had 8 gigs of RAM, and that was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I did wind up selling that, though, mainly because I was able to get a quad-core system. Okay, here's all right, James Vlogs. Matt, my girlfriend and I truly have been watching nearly an hour of your videos each night. Last night we watched the last Thanksgiving from Green. Oh man, we have so much fun up there for Thanksgiving. For those of you that haven't been on my channel too long, my extended family, at least on my mother's side, they all live in a place called Green, New York, which is Western New York. It's about maybe half an hour from Binghamton, and as a family, each Thanksgiving, at least most Thanksgivings, we try to get up there and gather as a family. My uncles, my one uncle is there. My aunts are up there. My two aunts, and unfortunately, my grandmother passed away 2 years ago, so she's no longer with us. But we have a really good time. Basically, we all share the duties. We get up there 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving. We prepare different meals. Mom and I usually do the mashed potatoes, the green bean casserole. My other aunt, who lives close to there, usually does the turkey. And what she does is she actually pre-cooks the turkey the night before Thanksgiving. And the way she gets it to stay nice and fresh is she pre-cooks it, cuts it up, and she layers it on like a baking sheet, and she adds a little bit of either turkey or chicken broth, and then what you do is you put silver foil on top, and then as Thanksgiving Day comes, you just stick it in the oven for about another hour and a half, 2 hours. It doesn't have to be too hot. She usually puts it in at about 325, and the turkey gets reconstituted with the juices, and it's just like fresh. I kid you not, it tastes just like it was cooked that day. The main reason we do that is because there's only one oven there, and if we didn't have the turkey pre-cooked, there wouldn't be enough ovens to actually get done, basically cook all the food we needed. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, great systems. I have an AMD variant that I trash picked. This is a Sam Hodgson, yeah, of the HP DC 6000. That particular system, I believe, is pretty much a business class system. I don't think they were ever directly sold to the public. And I've noticed in the many years I've been doing this that business class systems are much more reliable. They use better components, usually better motherboards, better memory, even sometimes better hard drives. Give you an example. I picked up a trying to think what model it was. Small form factor DC 5200 series. It was a Pentium 4 based system. It was actually used as a point of sale system, and that actually had a Western Digital black drive in it. And that, at the time when this was made, probably like around 2006, 2007, was one of the best hard drives that you could get. Let's see, this is Alien Technology. What do you think is a good processor graphics combo for a mid-range new PC build? And yes, that is my telephone in the background. Um, that's kind of a hard question. It depends on where you want to go. If you want to do AMD or you want to go Intel. If you're on a budget, I would say something like an AMD A10 system, which can either be which is basically a quad core system. Getting something like an R7 380 or 390, which is kind of like a mid-range card. I have a 360 in this computer, and that would also be a good option, but that would be mainly for low to mid-range gaming. And bearing in mind that I'm not a gamer, that's why I chose that particular card. Abandoned Exploration Adventure. Have you ever come across one of those white van scam audio or electronic components? No, can't say that I have. I've never actually heard of that one before. Let's see what else we got here. Whoop. I need to answer this text real quick. Just so you know, multitasking is not one of my strong suits. Never really has been. But we'll get there. Like I said, this is just kind of a preliminary, and I'm hoping in the future I'll be able to get Bose Computers to come over and participate in one of these live events. We've actually been discussing that in length over the past couple of weeks. Let's see. All right. right, guys, keep them coming. Yeah, keep the questions coming. I don't mind answering them. Still got some more time here. Oh, one thing I did want to touch on. Well, I don't have any other questions to answer right now. The Alvin and the Chipmunk figures that I got yesterday. Um, I did decide we are definitely going to be putting up some shelving units. I'm going to turn the monitor, or at least I'm going to try to turn this so you guys can see it a little bit. We're going to be sticking it, and I'm just waiting for the thing to populate. There's a big lag. It's about 5-10 second lag. It's right up there in the corner where those pictures are on the wall right now. We're going to go ahead and put some shelving units here and hopefully get that done before. Actually, I think we're going to try to do it before Christmas because we don't want it to get too cold to be able to work outside, because we have to actually cut the wood to be able to do that. Okay, here, let me see. Okay, Militant Vegan, I love that name, says, what are your thoughts on the new Nintendo Switch, considering Intel are able to fit desktop grade cards and laptops these days, and they confirmed it by powering it? Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't really keep up with video game stuff. It's just not my forte. But I will say this: I am definitely pro Intel. I do still enjoy my AMD systems, but Intel always runs cooler. I've seen jokes out there. There was one that says, "Don't buy a heater, just buy an AMD system because it'll do the same thing." That was kind of like back when the Pentium 4s were starting to go away. Towards the end of the Pentium 4 generations, they actually got up to 3.7, 3.8 gigahertz. And Intel, in their infinite wisdom, decided, well, wait a minute, we got to figure out another way to do this, because they weren't really able to cool those properly. Pretty much any Pentium 4s over 3.4 gigahertz were way too hot. And I did own one of my very first PC build was a Pentium 4 3.4 gigahertz system, and that was a socket 478, and that system ran incredibly hot. And I did not have a water cooler on that back then. That was just Cooler Master CPU fan, Corsair. I believe it was an 80 millimeter case fan, and I had a power supply in there that had dual fans. It had the fan on the bottom and a fan that would blow it out. So basically, the bottom fan would suck up the air and it would get blown out of the back of the system. And even with all those fans, that computer still tended to run on the hot side. I think at times that the temperature on that got up to about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, that was definitely not a good thing. Sam Hodgin wrote, what do you think of Sharp VCRs? I own a VCM 271 and haven't had the best experiences with it. I've only owned I think I've owned 2 or 3 Sharp VCRs in the past. Not my favorite VCRs. The main problem with them that I've noticed is the motors failing. Usually it's the spindle motor that drives the head, at least in my experience, but the motors they use in that were very, very weak. And another problem that I had with Sharp is they would not use the greatest metal, especially for the tape cage. And there were times, a few of them that I got, where I actually had to bend and reshape the cage that actually takes the tape into the VCR. So yeah, I'd probably stay away from Sharp VCRs. My absolute favorite VCRs are JVCs. I have had the best luck with JVC VCRs. Okay, Sam also wrote, in some ways the Pentium 3 was better than the Pentium 4. Yes, absolutely. The Pentium 4s had a higher clock speed, but the Pentium 3s actually had a better instruction set for gaming. Back when Pentium 4s first came out, like the 1.5 to like 2 gigahertz models, and I cannot think of the code name for those. Somebody will probably put that in the chat section. But yeah, back in that day, the Pentium 3s were much better for gaming, much better, and that even stayed true until the very end. I think once they hit the LGA 775 Hyperthread Pentium 4s, then you pretty much were going to a Pentium 4, because at that point, when it was Hyperthread, you had two different logical processors, so that was actually the beginning of what we could call dual core, even though it wasn't a true dual core CPU. Excuse me for just a moment, I do have to answer this text. All right. Let's see. And I've noticed in the in the picture, I think Cassie was running around here. I can't get her to stay though, because this is her time to play, and I'll get her to play with the string, which I actually have right here. This is what we usually get her to play with. It's just a little string with a little fake mouse attached to the end of it. And she'll play with it for about a minute, and then she'll just kind of get bored with it, and then I can throw it to her and she'll play by herself. But that's about as much as I can get her to play. And they told me that when I adopted her, that she wasn't a very playful cat, so it is what it is. Sometimes you get a cat that likes to play, and sometimes you don't. Okay, yeah, this is a subject I wanted to touch on as well. Alien Technologies. What do you think of the whole exploding Note 7 debacle? Yeah, that really is gonna hit. I think that's eventually gonna hit home personally with me. For those of you that don't really know about it, the Samsung Galaxy Note 7s, and I'm sure most of you do because it's really been in the news over the last month. The batteries have been exploding, and I've actually done some research on this. And the problem that I saw was the fact that they used the really cheap batteries. They tried to skimp out on something. Whenever you have a device, companies, even the major ones, Samsung, they're always going to try to keep costs as cheap as possible. And the one thing you don't want to do is skimp out on the battery in there. And I believe that's what Samsung did for the Note 7. The sad thing is, it's not all the Note 7s. I know several people that own the Note 7 and have had no problem with them, though at this point they've actually sent them back because they're not even allowed on planes right now. Now, my concern is, most of you guys probably know, I rock a Samsung Galaxy 7 Edge, and they have also had some issues with the batteries in those phones as well. Matter of fact, I just read an article on the Huffington Post the other day where a gentleman had his Galaxy 7 Edge explode in his pocket and actually almost destroyed his entire leg. So, I right now mine is working fine. I don't have any heating issues. My battery charges up, gives me very reliable service, but just got to keep an eye out. If they do issue a recall for these, I'll probably go ahead and exchange it for something else. Sam Hodgson wrote, I have a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime and it does overheat sometimes. Yeah, I have a friend of mine that has the Prime. I don't remember. I think that has a removable battery, though. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, that one actually has a removable battery. So if you are having a problem where it's overheating, and if it has overheated on you several times, I would go ahead and replace that battery. You can get these batteries pretty cheaply online, and that should fix your problem. What may be happening is your battery has a couple of cells that are shorting. Especially if you notice your battery life is diminished in a short period of time, then yeah, I would just go ahead and replace that battery. Alien Technologies read, I was reading yesterday and they still haven't figured out why they caught fire. Yeah, it's really weird because they haven't released, Samsung at least hasn't released the official um, explanation saying why they catch fire. What I was reading was just something that I read online, and like I said, there's no official reason, but I would still be cautious if you do own that phone. Alien Technologies wrote, remember when HP and Apple had the defective laptop batteries in the late 2000s? I actually had a MacBook where the battery swelled up and almost exploded on me. Yes, I do. I actually have my own story about that. I had a 2005 PowerBook G4, and that one I got a replacement battery for. The one that was in there wasn't the Mac battery. It was actually one I got on eBay, and I had the same problem with that one too. But yes, I do remember when that happened. The HP ones I think were actually even worse than the Apples. A good buddy of mine, when I used to work at Best Buy, had a DC, not a DC, 6000 series HP, and his swelled up really bad. He actually had it on his lap one night, and he started feeling his laptop getting really, really hot, and he actually had a burn on his leg that took about 6 months to heal. And sure enough, when he looked down, this was one of those extended life batteries, which would actually raise the laptop up at an angle. And even that one overheated and actually caused him to get a second degree burn on his leg. Primal Edge, thank you very much for an FYI. Sound is great and video quality is on point. Great job for your first live stream. Thank you very much. I'm glad everything's working out well. That's interesting. Garth Arentz wrote, I read a report that Samsung had no idea what was the cause. Initially, they thought the battery was at fault, but then they switched to a different supplier and the replacement still exploded. Now, that's interesting. I had not actually heard that. Yeah, that kind of makes me think maybe it isn't the battery. Um, it's really sad to think that they cannot get this right. And I mean, there's been issues to some extent with other phones, not just Samsung's, but you would think that a major supplier, one of the major suppliers of Android phones, would still have this problem. I think they did a smart thing though, recalling all of the notes, because if it's horrible to think that people's lives are changing irrevocably because of this, and they just needed to do something, and I think that was the best idea. But that being said, they do need to make it right and make sure these people that had the Note 7s get a ideal replacement. I know one of the options was the Galaxy S7 Edge, and I love this phone. I cannot tell you how much I love this phone. I mean, it's fast. If you watch a lot of my vlogs, 90% of my vlogs are filmed with this phone right here. So, yeah. Let's go on. I know I tend to yammer on a little bit. Let's answer some other questions here. Hey, from United Kingdom, from Somerset. Wow. And this is Minecrafter6323. And we are now up to 14 watchers. Excellent. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here's another one from James Vlogs. Is it bad to... Whoa. Sorry, guys. I think my cat's knocking some stuff off my shelf there. Alright, James Vlogs. Is it bad to keep my Lightdow LD4000 or the SJ4000 plugged in and charging for too long a time? Short answer, yes. As soon as it's done charging, go ahead and unplug it. I had a same issue with my GoPro Hero Plus. If you keep it plugged in too long, it will stop charging. The light will go off. But what tends to happen is, as the battery starts to diminish just a little bit, it'll start charging again if you keep it plugged in. And An issue I had with mine, basically, it wouldn't turn on. I kept it plugged in for 2 days, and what I actually had to do was wait until the battery drained all the way down, and I had to do a hard reset on my GoPro to get it to work again. So, yes, as soon as it's done charging, make sure you take it off the charger. Let's see what else we got here. Sam Hodgson wrote, in the UK we have cheap batteries that are not alkaline and they are garbage, though I have never seen decorative batteries. I've gotten a lot of comments on those. Yeah. Only reason I bought those was to show how absurd they were. And, I mean, come on. When would you ever use them? Like I said in that video, batteries are hidden. Whatever you have a battery, and it's going to have a cover on it. So you're never actually going to see the batteries, and those are total garbage. They are just super heavy duty batteries. They're not alkaline. They're not even as good as NiCad rechargeable batteries. So yeah, just avoid those batteries. Like I said, I bought them basically so you guys didn't have to. I wanted to kind of just prove a point there. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream right here. I do have some errands I have to run really quick. I didn't realize it was getting quite that late. I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I am definitely going to do more of these in the future. Like I said, please remember to continue to like and subscribe. I was looking at my analytics the other day, and I still have 80 to 82% of my viewers that view my videos regularly still are not subscribers, and it helps me out tremendously. If you are out there watching my videos and you are not a subscriber, please just spend a minute, click that subscribe button on the bottom, and as I end every video, have a blessed day, everybody.